hardest thing you've ever faced was actually the key to your next breakthrough? Why do some people rise stronger after tragedy while others stay stuck? Could your greatest setback be preparing you for your greatest comeback? Those are questions we're going to be answering today as we learn how to turn tragedy into triumph. And I have a 4-step formula that's just for you. And number 3, you don't want to miss. Step number 1, acknowledge the pain, but don't run from it. Okay? Acknowledge the pain by not running from it. When we go through uncomfortable, painful, challenging situations, what do we tend to do? Some of us shell up, we bottle up, we close off. We have to protect ourselves. And so we don't even want to deal with it because it's uncomfortable, it's too painful. But that's actually not the best way to deal with some of the most important issues in our lives. You must learn, or we must learn, that while facing our reality is the first step to our healing. We want to be healed. That's what we really want. But we seem to protect the pain. We're going to stop that. Or at least I want to pose the opportunity for you, pose why you should not do that, why we should stop doing that. So I have 3 stories for you. Let's talk about Oprah Winfrey. Oprah faced severe hardship in her early life, including poverty, abuse, and personal loss. Instead of letting these struggles define her, she used them as fuel for growth. She openly acknowledged her past, sought healing, and transformed her pain into purpose. Today, she's one of the most influential media moguls, philanthropists, and voices for personal development. Again, and voices for personal development, proving that even the darkest beginnings don't have to determine the future. Oprah made a different choice, a different decision than many people would have made or have made given the exact same circumstances. What are you going to do about yours? Let's go to the second person. Inky Johnson. Inky Johnson went from NFL dreams, he was a former NFL player, to being a life-changing speaker. Inky was a rising football star with a clear path to the NFL when a life-altering injury left his right arm permanently paralyzed. Permanently. At first, he struggled with the loss of his dream. See, in other words, the struggle is real. We don't act like it's not there. You just have to change how you see it, but we're going to get to that later on. Inky struggled with the loss of his dream, but instead of staying stuck in disappointment, he transformed his pain into a calling. Today, he's a sought-after motivational speaker, inspiring millions with his story of perseverance, faith, and purpose. Inky went from being victimized or being a victim to being a victor. Then let's talk about Miss Elizabeth Smart. Elizabeth was abducted from her home at 14 years of age and endured horrific experiences for 9 months before being rescued. Instead of hiding from her past, she openly acknowledged the trauma, sought healing, and became a powerful advocate for child safety and victims of abuse. She has since written books, spoken worldwide, and helped change laws to protect others. Once again, this is another case where she or a person took this experiences and instead of living as victims, turned themselves into victors, and they helped others. What are you going through? What have you been facing? What have you faced that can be a great and useful tool, a great and useful story to benefit someone else? I mean, don't you want to be somebody who changes lives, who impacts lives while you're here? Don't you want to make a difference? You have an opportunity. Some of you have actually been praying for an opportunity, looking for an opportunity to change things. Well, guess what? You probably already have one in your house, in your hand, in your life, a story in your life that you can share. Each of these individuals experienced deep tragedy, but made a conscious choice to acknowledge it. They did what? Write it in the comments. Write it in the comments with me. They made a conscious choice. Just go and write conscious choice. Conscious choice. They made a conscious choice to acknowledge it, to grow from it, and to use it to help others. Notice this. They went internally, made certain changes about how they viewed their experiences, and turned it into a weapon for a good cause, turned it into a useful tool, turned their life story, their tragic moments, into something that not only benefited them, but benefited others. And that's exactly what you have the power to do. That's what you have the capability to do. That's what you have the opportunity to do. So here is the key takeaway from step number one, which is to acknowledge it. You can't heal what you won't feel. When it comes to pain, people respond and react way differently. When you're in pain, all logic, most people, depending on your pain tolerance, all rationale, all logic goes right out the window. And this happens with both men and women. So it's not a gender thing or a sex thing. It's a male and female issue that once a certain level of pain tolerance has been hit or reached or went beyond it, all logic, all rationale goes out the window. Now, when you calm down, then you can think through the process. Hopefully, you didn't cause too much damage or let things get worse. You can't heal what you won't feel. I have tried to protect myself from feelings. I have. Why? It was uncomfortable. It hurt. But that doesn't mean it's always a bad thing to feel that. For one, some people will say that's you being human. So, but there's an opportunity there if you're looking for it. It's there if you're looking for it. So let's go to step number two. Step number two is this. Make sure I get my part there. Shift your perspective. That is, reframe the narrative. But I've been learning some awesome principles. I'm on a journey, a 40-day journey with with my coach, and it's very life transformational. And I'm not saying using that as a pun. It's definitely gives you an opportunity to really look in the mirror and do some introspection. And but it's wonderful experience at the same time. It's uncomfortable, it's somewhat painful, but yet at the same time it's comfortable. Matter of fact, my father wrote this amazing book. I'll put up to the camera real quick. If hope the light won't blind you or anything, but it's called Transformation Change Begins Within. I encourage you, go ahead and go to Amazon and order your copy. Leave a comment after you've read a few pages or something. But it's a very powerful book. It's called Transformation Change Begins Within. My father wrote this amazing book. If you're looking for transformation in your life and you want to see life change, if you want to see your mindset change, your speech change, your life change, your behavior change, you need to get this book. Again, it's called Transformation Begins Within. Now, step number two is to shift your perspective, which is to reframe your narrative, which is what my dad's book is part of what my dad talks about in there. You need to learn, or your option, I like to say your option is to learn how to see the lesson in a situation instead of a loss. For example, last year I learned, Darius, reframe your past. Because see, I know what it's like to, which is why I even started this channel, which is why I'm going to write some books on this. But I learned the power of reframing my past because I let my past cause me to to be depressed at times, to be stressed. I put unnecessary weight upon myself to perform. I let me become stagnant. It caused me to again, I said earlier about me being a procrastinator, which caused me not to do the things I originally set out to do, things I wanted to do, like things on this wall here. I want to help other people not do that because I know what it feels like and how it puts you in the dumps. And when you don't achieve what you believe you are capable of achieving, when you don't accomplish the things that you have said you are going to accomplish, not only do other people look at you a certain way, you look at you a certain way. Once you start looking at yourself, I was talking about reframing how you see yourself, changing your perspective, shifting your perspective. If you don't see yourself in the best light, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or says about you. You're not going to be any better. So this is why you must make the decision. Once you come to the revelation of, once you have your epiphany, once you come into a moment where the light comes on, you have a choice. I'm fixing to make things better, or I'm gonna let things get worse. That's your choice. There's a young man in the Bible. For those of you who read the Bible, because that's where I'm getting my principles from, is from the scriptures. Yes, there are a lot of people out there who have some wonderful success principles. Most of which, if not all, I believe comes from the scriptures. They just don't give God the credit for it. You can read it on your own time. It's Genesis chapter 37 through chapter 50. Very interesting story about a young man by the name of Joseph that was, and I'm just going to streamline this story for you, but I encourage you, go check it out on your own time. It's a very interesting story. This young man was his father's favorite son. I believe he had 12 sons. His name is Jacob, Abraham's grandson. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. And so he had 12 sons, and one of them was his favorite. The young man, his name is Joseph. And long story short, he had some amazing dream that God gave him, that his parents and his siblings they would bow to him. He would be in a powerful leadership position, and a part of the respect that you paid to leaders, particularly back then, you bow before them. He tells them his dream. His brothers really begin to hate him. They disliked him tremendously when he talked about when they saw how his father favored him over them. But then, add insult to injury, he tells them his dream, and they just hated him. Hated him so much to the point that when his father sent him to check on him, they conspired to kill him. One of the brothers had grew a conscience really quick and said, hey, now let's not kill our own brother. There's nothing to profit, nothing to gain in it. So they threw him in a hole, threw him in a pit in the ground. And some travelers were coming through who were also slave owners. They sold him. Long story short, the young man mastered the situation he was in and went from his slave owner's house. His slave owner's name was Potiphar. Then he was falsely accused, so he was done wrong again, cast into prison, and then later on, God gave him a dream that only he could solve. God gave him the skill set and the wisdom to help solve a certain issue, where he became second in command over the entire country. And so, fast forward past that, the lives that were changed from his tragedy go full circle. Guess for who? His brothers. And he told them as much too. He said, listen, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. Now, some of you feel like you've been betrayed, may have been betrayed by your family members. Some of your family members, some and or relatives, or somebody who is very close to you, a friend, a spouse, etc. And you want karma, or you want them to get what's coming to them. That's really not the right attitude to have. Now, that may happen, but your attitude matters, because your attitude determines your altitude. Let's keep that in mind. Your attitude determines your attitude. Go and put that in the comments. My attitude determines my attitude determines my altitude. That is, how I behave in my attitude determines how high I go in life. And so, if you've been done wrong, forgive. I didn't say y'all become best friends. I didn't say y'all become friends. All I'm just saying is, somebody needs to hear this. Forgive. Forgive and let go. That frees you. Let them be. That frees you. Say it's not about them, it's about me. Once you change your mindset about a situation, you get to change how your future unfolds. Your story, and I'm just my note here. Your story isn't over. Your perspective shapes your future. Say, my perspective shapes my future. Not his, not them, not they. My perspective changes my future. Y'all, that's so empowering. Listen, I hope that excites you. I hope that liberates you. I hope that frees you. Your viewpoint, how you see your life, how you see yesterday, how you see 10 years ago, can literally, for the best, for the better, change your future. But if it is to be, it's up to me. It's not up to them. Guess what? For Christians out there, guess what? Not even God's view can change your future if you don't allow it. Because you have to align, you have to partner with God's thoughts concerning you. That's what he said in Jeremiah 29:11. Basically, he said, I know the thoughts I think towards you, thoughts of peace, not of evil, to give you an expected end. In other words, I know what I'm thinking about you. People want to question me. God think this, God think that. Believe you me, God is not short on or nor scared of you to the point scared of you, and he will show up and say what he's got to say. Okay, he says, I know what I'm thinking of you, but what are you thinking? Do you want what I think for you, or do you want what you think? That's the question. That's one of the most important questions we must ask ourselves. Now, let's go ahead and move on to our step number 3, the game changer. Yeah, I know. You probably thought I forgot. I ain't forgot. I was just at step 2. Take intentional action. Go ahead and type that into the comments. Take intentional action. TIA. Take intentional action. Repetition is key for success too, by the way. You can go and add that to your notes. Repetition is key. Move forward on purpose. Don't stop waiting for stuff to just happen, to just unfold, or if you prayed, God gonna just make everything work for you. That does not work. There is a system in place. There are principles that must be learned, understood, and followed. Let me say that one more time. There are principles that must be learned, must be understood, and then must be followed. If you don't take this step number 3, after learning about the first 2, if you don't take step number 3, everything else falls apart. It just either stays where it's at, or things just fall apart. Because you have to take, and it's not just taking intentional action, it's taking intentional action in correspondence with what you say you want. Boy, this is so awesome, y'all. Listen, this puts great power into your hands, into my hands. I actually get to choose. You do. Oh, I don't believe in the power of choice. I believe in fate. All the decisions predetermined. Believe what you want to believe. Everything I've said, pretty much you fall into that category if you believe in fatalism. Life is not random. And even though God knows the future from the end to the beginning, that is, it does not mean he has made all the decisions for you. But God has plans for every single decision based on every decision you and I make. So believe what you want to believe. For those of you who say, I do not like the path I'm on or the journey I'm on, I don't like how things in my life are right now, this is for you. So take intentional action and understand this. Do not despise the small stuff. Small steps create massive momentum. If you take the right steps in the right direction, okay? Again, I'm not just telling you to take, I'm not encouraging you just to take action. Take intentional action. Take the intentional right action. Go forth where you sense, if you will, there's peace in that area, going in that path, going in that direction. All big projects or big things consist of is a bunch of little things. Yeah. A lot of big things. If you look at things on a microscopic level, you will see there's a bunch of little things working together to equal the whole big picture. So here's another story I want to share with you about a mother who turned her tragedy into a mission. Y'all probably know her. Mothers Against Drunk Driving, or MADD. The acronym is MADD, M-A-D-D. It was founded in 1980 by Candy Lightner after her 13-year-old daughter, Carrie, was killed by a repeat drunk driver in California. Again, a repeat drunk driver. This person may have intentionally practiced a lifestyle of living drunk. And one day, it did only affect them. It affected Carrie. Devastated by the loss, Candy turned her grief into action, launching MADD to advocate for tougher drunk driving laws raise awareness, and support victims. Her efforts led to significant legal changes, including the national 21-year-old drinking age and stricter DUI penalties. Today, MAD continues to fight against impaired driving and supports victims and their families. So, this is what I want you to take away from that story. Action is the bridge from pain to purpose. Yes, action is the bridge from pain to purpose. Sulking in your pain for a brief period of time, depending on the tragedy, is warranted. It's expected. That's how we grieve and get a lot of the pressure out. That's why we grieve, to get a lot of that pressure off of us, because we're not built to hold it in. But there has to be a point where you decide, now is the time. Some of you have probably waited 20 years. You still holding on forgiveness, or you still remembering that moment when someone abused you, violated you, said something they shouldn't have said, or the relationship you lost because of so and so and so. None of that has benefited you. Therefore, the people's lives you were supposed to impact on a positive level, they didn't get the benefit from you either. But you can change that today. You can forgive yourself and others of the past, and you can reframe it and let it become a benefit to you and to others. You know, your story matters. Somebody else needs to hear your testimony. That's what I was just saying, basically. You can tell someone, you can share your story with someone I can't reach, or at least I can't reach over a long period of time, because they may not be able to identify with me. They may not even like my channel, but they'll like yours. They'll love your story. Don't be shy. Don't try to keep it to yourself. Go ahead, share. Go ahead and allow yourself to heal and help others heal in the process. Your healing may come through helping someone else heal. See, this is not rocket science. We just don't take the time really to think about life beyond us, life beyond our own. But this is an opportunity for you. Your journey creates healing for yourself and others. That's basically what I just said here. Now, triumph multiplies when you decide to share it. It multiplies. Y'all know bad news, rumors, it travels on a current all by itself, and it travels much faster than the truth. Doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean it's truth, but it travels faster. But when truth starts traveling, it always reaches its destination. It's like the tortoise and the hare story, where you have the turtle, the turtle and the rabbit begins to race. Obviously, the rabbit from the beginning has the speed to beat the tortoise, but the rabbit or the hare is short on vision, and short on focus. He got distracted along the path, and this turtle just kept trotting along at his pace as fast as it could, albeit slower, much slower than the rabbit. And eventually, long story short, you know the end of the story. The tortoise wins the race. Why? The rabbit got distracted, got sidetracked, lost focus on the goal, on its destination. Triumph multiplies when you share it. If you take the good news, even though it may be slower than rumors, its impact will be much broader and much more powerful than the rumors. I'm talking about at the end. So this is what you and I have the opportunity to do. You want to make an impact? You want to be a difference maker? You want to move from where you were to where you want to be, or even where you are to where you want to be? You have to change it. That's entirely up to be. Go ahead and put it in the comments. Put this in the comments. If it is to be, it's up to me. Go ahead and put it in the comments, or at the very least, repeat this after me. If it is to be, it's up to me. That's regarding your life. That which you can control. What? You can control how you see things. You can control what you say. You can control how you behave. Therefore, impact the results that come to you. It's up to you. You say, well, if this is true, Darius, how come bad things happen to good people too? How come good things happen to bad people? Good questions. I don't have an answer for that. All I know is when you're talking about living based on principle, good things gonna happen for if you operate on principles. There's good things that's gonna happen, but it's a possibility bad things are gonna happen too. But as long as you keep doing your part, good things are gonna happen. If you're bad, you operate principles too. You violate principles. There's certain principles that a bad person works that actually they do work. But as long as they keep being a bad person, they're all operating another principle. Judgment day is coming if they don't correct it. Judgment day is coming. It's called principles. Don't try to figure everything out. Just learn what you need to learn to become the person you want to become and have the results that you want. And success will be inevitable to you. Listen, I hope you've gotten a lot out of this content. If you enjoyed it, if this record resonates with you, if you believe or know it's going to resonate with someone else, please like, share, comment, and set notifications. And share this channel with some other people if you believe they're going to really be blessed by this content. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next Monday. Also, remember this: maximize the moment.